Order. It is my duty to inform the House that a Speaker of this House has been duly elected. Before announcing the name of the successful candidate, I wish to explain how the next few minutes will unfold.
Of the vote has been announced, I will ask that the Speaker-elect proceed to the front of the bar of the House. The Right Honourable Prime Minister and the Honourable Leader of the Opposition will then proceed to escort the new elected Speaker from there to take the chair. Et voilà le moment.
And now the big moment.
Inform the House that the Honourable il est maintenant demandé.
It is my duty to now inform the House that the honourable member for Hull-Aylmer has been elected as Speaker.
C'est là, là. OK. Alors, on va laisser le...
Let us welcome the new Speaker of the House of Commons.
par l'autre côté. Vous me donnerez ça tout à l'heure. Félicitations.
Congratulations.
Est-ce que vous prendre le câlin? Et puis après? À l'ordre.
Order.
Honorable député.
Honourable members, I beg to return my humble acknowledgements to the House for the great honour you have been pleased to confer upon me by choosing me to be your Speaker. Before we get started, I would just like to thank several people and all of you. First, I'd like to start with the Honourable Member for Bécancour Nicolet Sorel, the Dean of the House, this Dean of the House, who's had a long career here at the House of Commons of 39 years. He's inspiring for us all. There are young people who have just arrived in 2021 and others who have arrived recently during by-elections. And you have before you inspiration for us all. Someone who's close to their electorate, their riding, and someone who has served with great integrity since 1984. So congratulations. Perhaps you don't remember, in 1988, I came here as a parliamentary page, and I had the pleasure of serving that gentleman water and to deliver messages on paper. He was kind, upright at the time, and he still is today. He still is, even more so. And I hope that I will have the opportunity to beat your record, at least in this chair, for more than 5 days. But we'll see. We'll start with this afternoon.
I'd like to thank my honourable colleagues who stood to let their name stand to become Speaker of the House of Commons. Let us all give them a huge round of applause. They are amazing Canadians. They have served this House, especially the speakership team. The two assistant speakers and the deputy speaker in particular have served this House very well and with great honour and integrity. And I hope to continue to count on your sage advice and your support as we move forward for the rest of this Parliament. I'm really looking forward to working collaboratively with all of you. And thank you for the applause. I know that in politics, there are only 2 times when people give you a strong applause and they're happy to see you: the day you arrive, and of course the day you leave. The Speaker, to use the old hockey analogy, is nothing more than a referee. And if there's one thing I know, is that nobody pays good money to go see the referee. They go to see the stars, you, the players on the ice, les hommes et les femmes.
The men and the women who have practiced in the minor leagues for quite some time, and you've practiced at home with your families, and who have found themselves here in this chamber. My role as Speaker is to reassure that the standing orders and rules will be followed, so you can take on what I hope is a friendly and respectful debate and passionate debate here in this House.
Earlier, in my speech to you all, respect is a fundamental part of what we do here. We need to make sure that we treat each other with respect, that we show Canadians the example. Because there can be no dialogue unless there's a mutual understanding of respect. There can be no ability to pursue the arguments, to make your points be heard, unless we all agree to extend to each other that sense of respect and decorum. So I'm going to be working hard on this, and I need all of your help to make this happen, because this is the place where hard debates will happen. This
is the place where we can have passionate debate. Passionate and respectful debate. Starting soon today, I will meet the table officers. I will meet with the deputy speakers, in order to decide how we're going to proceed in the coming months, in order to make sure, I'm thinking as I speak, to really set the record straight. We have to follow the rules of the House of Commons. And when we follow them, we will have a fruitful debate, important debate, and it will give us the opportunity to proceed with mutual respect.
Mesdames et messieurs, merci pour votre...
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your trust. I hope that I will earn it over the coming years. I hope I will have the opportunity to speak with each one of you to get to know you better. And in this way, we will really set an example for all Canadians. We want to show them that politics is a noble profession. Thank you, and I wish you the greatest success.
L'honorable Premier Ministre.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Très honorable.
Right Honourable.
Mon premier erreur.
My first mistake. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Monsieur le Président, au nom du gouvernement.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the government and all members in this House, I wish to congratulate you for your election. I also want to thank everyone who ran. Thank you for answering the call when it was time to keep our democracy strong and healthy.
Speaker, today you are the first Black Canadian to become Speaker of this House. Inspiring for all Canadians, especially younger generations who want to get involved in politics. Congratulations. This House is the home of Canadian democracy. Members of Parliament come from every corner of the country to represent their communities. Canadians from coast to coast to coast elect us to work hard for them and to be their voices in this place. They elected us to deliver results, to help make their lives better. This remains our #1 job. And the only way we can make progress is by working together, by respecting each other. La Chambre des communes est un endroit pour...
The House of Commons is a place for debating ideas. It's normal that we don't always agree with our colleagues. Mr. Speaker, we elected you to help us to be civil in our debates, to remind us that we are all here for the same reason, which is to serve Canadians.
Sequential times for Canada and for the world. We must continue to work together to make life more affordable, to build more homes, to keep our democracy strong, to fight climate change and power the clean economy of tomorrow. On doit continuer notre travail pour
We have to continue our work to ensure that the promise of Canada is held, the promise to improve every generation's quality of life.
Sequential times, Canadians expect us all to work together to deliver results. They expect us to behave to the highest standards. Mr. Speaker, I know you will help us rise to meet this moment. Canada is the best country in the world. Hear, hear. Let's keep working all together to make it even better.
I now recognize the Leader of the Official Opposition.
Et félicitations.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, Mr. Speaker.
Into. I know that you have strong enough arms for the job, because I had the difficult task of dragging you all the way to that chair, and we thought for a moment that you'd changed your mind when you took a turn to congratulate one of our colleagues on this side. But it is an incredible achievement to serve in the role that Parliament has bestowed upon you. C'est un honneur pour tous et
It's an honor for everyone to serve here in the House of Commons. Every single one among us is proud to have the responsibility of working for about 100,000 people among the general public. Sometimes, however, we forget how it works. Sometimes we think the Prime Minister is in charge and the House of Commons is underneath and the people are on the bottom, but it's quite the opposite. The public is actually in charge of our democracy. We are their servants, and the government must serve parliamentarians.
Parliament was invented. And the reason that these floors and seats are green is because the first commoners met in fields. They were the peasants and the farmers who were tired of having their crops taxed away by an impossibly cruel crown. And they gathered to force King John to sign the Magna Carta, the Great Charter, which of course restrained the power of the crown. And today, we have a similar circumstance with a government that is excessively powerful and costly, that has overburdened the population, created unprecedented strain, particularly on middle-class and working-class peoples, who are now forced, in many cases, to live in tents, to lose their homes, who are skipping meals. We have 7 million who cannot afford food because of the inflationary taxes imposed upon that food by an overly greedy government. And so now more than ever, the role of Parliament in restraining the power of the Prime Minister is primordial. And we will continue to carry out that role proudly on the floor of this House of Commons, because we will always remember that we are servants and not masters of the king. And, Mr. Speaker, we will do it with common sense. Now, why is this important? I hear some members of the government who don't like the sound of the word common sense, and we can understand why they wouldn't. But isn't it interesting that this is called the House of Commons for a reason? Right. Common wisdom, our common resources, our common heritage, and our common future is determined by the people elected to serve in this place. And we must always do it with common sense. The common sense of the common people, united for our common home. Your home, my home, our house. Let's bring it home.
I'd like to recognize the leader for the Bloc Québécois. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I need to talk about the person who presided over the House, the member for Bécancour, Nicolette Sorel. I want to thank him.
Vous savez, il a été un exemple, justement.
He was a fine example of impartiality. And before I congratulate you, I want to congratulate candidates who were on the list today and who ensured that our choice was difficult. They are great parliamentarians. They are effective and great debaters. And now I wish to talk about you, Mr. Speaker. I want to congratulate you on my behalf and on behalf of the Bloc Québécois. We're very pleased to see you on the throne. We're happy to see you there. Every speaker before you had a challenge. They had to go from one seat or one function where one had to be partisan, perhaps very partisan sometimes. When becoming speaker, one had to set partisanship aside and take on the vestments of impartiality. I am sure that you will fulfill that role and that you will be impartial. This will allow Parliament to do great work for the Canadian public, which it does expect of us. I have every confidence that you will be an impartial arbiter, if we stick to the hockey analogy, and on my behalf and on behalf of the Bloc Québécois, we offer you all our cooperation. Of course, I can't forget my whip and the leader who will work with you. I'm looking forward to working together so that ideas take first place and take first place above everything in this House.
Merci pour ces bons commentaires.
Thank you for those comments. I now wish to recognize the leader of the New Democratic Party.
Premièrement, au nom des
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of all the New Democrats, I want to congratulate you for your victory today. I also am looking forward to the work, or rather, I want to congratulate you for the work that you have done as a parliamentarian, member for Hull-Aylmer since 2015. I want to say, I think many of the members are saying the same thing. You're a person who has always given a great smile, said hello to everyone.
Without much exception, you're one of the friendliest members of Parliament. It's great to see you in this chair now. Congratulations. I know it's been said, but I want to just underline what having you elected means. First of all, I want to acknowledge the humility that you expressed, that people don't come to a match to watch the referee, they come to watch the stars. I think you started off with a message of humility, which is very powerful. But I also want to acknowledge the incredible weight that you now bear and the incredible the incredible feat that you've achieved. Now when people walk the halls of this place, when they look at the pictures on the walls, and they're reminded of some of the great achievements of Canada, some of the grave errors that we've made as a nation, they're one day going to see your face on the walls of this chamber. And what that's going to mean to kids visiting from far and wide who come to the capital city, there's going to be kids who maybe have come here and not seen themselves reflected on the walls. And that's going to change now. That's very powerful. And I know you know how important that is, and it brings me to my next point, and that is the incredible role that you're now going to have to play, Mr. Speaker, to restore the honor of this chamber, something you mentioned in your speech as well. We know there's going to be, rightly so, increased attention on all parliamentarians and on this House. And I have no doubt that you will be able to satisfy your responsibilities with the utmost capacity, but it is indeed an increased responsibility. I also know that there are deep concerns about divisions in politics and the polarization of debate. And while vigorous debates are of course important, there is a certain tone and there's a certain decorum that must be upheld. And when I think about kids visiting, again, I come back to kids visiting this place, and sometimes school kids looking over and watching the elected officials of this country engaging in debate, I'm embarrassed sometimes that kids are watching people yelling out outlandish things, acting as if it's cool to be yelling at someone while they're speaking. And I hope that you can restore some of that decorum. I think it's important. Everyone's going to have their chance to share their viewpoints, but I think it should be done in a way where people are able to express that, and then once they're done, they sit down, someone else can respond and rebut. And I hope that you can create that decorum, restore the prestige of this place, and restore confidence in the important work that happens here. Thank you so much for putting your name forward. Congratulations on being elected. Look forward to working with you.
Je comprends qu'il y a l'unanimité.
I understand that there's unanimous consent to allow the member for Kitchener South to take the floor.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you to all my colleagues for this opportunity to give you my congratulations. First of all, I want to say a big thank you on behalf of the Green Party caucus to the member for Bécancour, Nicolette Sorel, for their excellent work as interim speaker last week.
Mr. Speaker, turning to you, it is a joy to see you in that chair and to address you for the first time in that way. I deeply appreciate the words you shared with us just hours ago, highlighting how important respect is in this place. That yes, we may have different opinions across the country, that yes, the debate here may be difficult at times, but that Canadians expect that this can be a place where parliamentarians can come together to elevate the quality of debate to make progress on what they care about most. And I have no doubt that with you in that chair, with the support of all parliamentarians here, and certainly on behalf of the Green Party caucus, that you will be well supported to ensure that that continues to be the case. That while this may be at times a toxic place, it doesn't have to be that way, and that I know you will ensure that the debate is elevated here. On behalf of the Green Party caucus, once again, I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
I have a second opportunity to do this correctly. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform the House that it is the pleasure of Her Excellency the Governor-General that the House shall present their Speaker later this day in the chamber of the Senate to receive Her Excellency's approval. Monsieur le Président, je désire informer la Chambre qu'il plaît.
Mr. Speaker, I desire to inform the House that it is the pleasure of Her Excellency the Governor General to present the new Speaker to the Senate, where Her Excellency will give her approval.
En conséquence, la séance est...
Consequently, the sitting is suspended until the call of the chair.
Usher of the Black Rod, you will proceed to the House of Commons and acquaint that House that it is the pleasure of Her Excellency the Governor-General of Canada that they attend her immediately in the Senate chamber.
Usher of the Black Rod, you will proceed to the House of Commons and acquaint that House that it is the pleasure of Her Excellency the Governor-General of Canada that they attend her immediately in the Senate chamber.
A message from Her Excellency the Governor General. Le message de Son Excellence la Gouverneure Générale.
Thanks, Steve.
I know. What other possible
Mr. Speaker, a message from Her Excellency the Governor General. Monsieur le Président, un message de Son Excellence la Gouverneure Générale.
Fais entrer le message.
Admit the messenger.
Do I do anything here?
Mr. Speaker, it is the pleasure of Her Excellency the Governor General that this Honourable House immediately attend the Senate chamber.
The pleasure of Her Excellency the Governor General that this Honourable House attend her immediately in the chamber of the Senate.
Excellence. La Chambre des communes.
Your Excellency, the House of Commons elected me Speaker, and though I am unable to meet the demands of this post, I do ask you, if ever I were to commit an error, I ask that this error be forgiven. I am your servant.
May it please Your Excellency. The House of Commons has elected me their Speaker. Though I am but little able to fulfill the important duties thus assigned to me, if in the performance of those duties I should be at any time fall into error, I pray that the fault may be imputed to me and not to the Commons, whose servant am I.
Monsieur le Président, j'ai reçu l'ordre.
Mr. Speaker, I am commanded by Her Excellency the Governor-General to assure you that your words and actions will constantly receive from her the most favorable construction.
Mr. Speaker, I am commanded by Her Excellency the Governor-General to assure you that your words and actions will constantly receive from her the most favorable construction.